And good evening, everybody. Welcome to this evening's stream. And tonight we're going to be driving the service 1Z47 Birmingham New Street to Edinburgh Waverley at 16:36 in the afternoon. So we're going to be driving this additional extra passenger service from Preston to Carlisle using the Class 47 in ScotRail Livery with ploughs. And we're going to be pulling 13 carriages. So without further ado, let's get started. Right, so let's just get set up in here first. Get our master key in. Get our reverser into forward. And let's just put our straight brake on for a moment. Oh dear. I've got a bit of a conflict here with my mouse and... right, let's try again. There we go. Just put the straight brake on. Release our brakes in readiness. Get our headlights switched on. Desk light on. And what's that one next to it? The marker lights. I think that's it. On that front anyway. And let's get our AWS. Oh, we haven't opened the doors, have we? Let's open the doors. Right. Acknowledge that. Right, so I think we're all set and ready to go. Let's just have a quick look outside at this. We're driving the Charles Pennine Macintosh. And there is the Class 47 in her beautiful ScotRail livery, which I'll talk a little bit more about in a moment or two once we've started to get rolling. So the last few passengers are just getting on or getting back off. Someone was a bit undecided there. Got a bit of the jitters. Right. I think we're ready to go. Yes, we are. Okay. Let's get the doors closed first then. And let's get the throttle on. In fact, let's get a little bit of throttle in. And get this straight brake off. And hopefully we'll start moving. Right, let's just have a quick look from outside. So we're doing a sort of late afternoon, early evening drive. I did have a bit of an autumn drive this afternoon on this route, and the lighting was really nice actually around this time. Just get back inside for a minute so you could probably hear me better. As you can see through the cab here, the lighting's really quite nice this time of day. In the set in the autumn, so I've set it into autumn. And as this journey will take us about an hour and a half, we'll probably be arriving in Carlisle at dusk, so it'll just be getting dark. So yeah, let's have a quick look outside. We've gone over the bridge, have we? Beautiful. It's quite nice seeing the church there and a little touch of misty, bit of a early evening mist. My dog's trying to get underneath the bloody TV here. Sorry about that. Right, so we can get the throttle up. So we are leaving Preston. In the beautiful autumn evening. So as you can see, we're driving the Class 47 in ScotRail Livery, and if you're familiar with the game, we're actually driving on the Preston to Carlisle route by Just Trains, and this particular livery is not actually included with the route. This is a third-party created route by someone called Daniel Watt, and is available free. I put in a description down below how and where you can, where you can go and download it from. Unfortunately, though, it's only available in on PC. That's one of the benefits of PC over console, is being able to use third-party mods. I mean, you can download liveries from the Creators Club on Xbox, but this particular one, as far as I'm aware, is not available via that normal route. You have to download it from the website, which I've given below. I've forgotten the name of it now. Steam Locomotive, something like that. And there's quite a few of the variants of liveries which come as part of that pack. Right, let's have a quick look from outside, because what a beautiful golden evening. So I'm playing on PC today. I normally play on Xbox. That's my been my main way of playing Train Sim World, and been collecting. I focus on the UK routes, and so I've virtually got all of the routes now on console, and I've recently been repurchasing my collection on PC, because there's been a sale on recently on Steam, which do come up more often than they do on Xbox, unfortunately, which was becoming quite a frustration for me, and I needed to upgrade my PC anyway, and decided to build my collection here as well. because it's, as I say, it's more versatile. You can access third-party mods, and there's sales on more frequently. Although, as I say, I've more or less collected everything in this last sale that's been. I'm just missing a couple of items now, which were not reduced in the sale, and I hope will come up in a future sale to close that gap in the collection. So this is the first time I think I've streamed from PC, so apologies if there's any change or difference in quality from my normal streams. Hopefully you shouldn't see any difference or hear any difference. I think I've balanced both. Hello there, Teesside Train Spotting. So we'll just have another look from outside. Again, I only downloaded this pack today, this free ScotRail pack. And I mean, what makes this livery stand out quite well is it being weathered, as a lot of the fan-made or third-party made liveries can sometimes just be the main colouring, really. I've not used the livery maker properly myself. I've had a little bit of a nosy in there, but I've not attempted, case of going by, attempted to make any myself as yet. But I'm pretty impressed, very impressed. In fact, I believe Tom from Just Trains did comment on this livery pack, saying that, you know, it's at a standard at which it's been created at the standard at which would be expected for an official release, you know. Teesside, so you saw the Flying Scotsman yesterday. When you say that, do you mean the video I made, or the actual real life Flying Scotsman? I'm assuming you mean the real life Flying Scotsman. Because I did make, I think one of my last streams, I don't know if it was my last stream, but my last stream was driving the Flying Scotsman on the Riviera. Oh, you saw the actual one, right? Cool, excellent. Where was that at then? It went through Nunthorpe, heading towards Naimar. Is that how you pronounce that? I haven't actually seen the Flying Scotsman in real life myself. Well, I have, but not in its full glory. I'd gone to the museum in York some years ago now, and it was undergoing some kind of refurbishment or refit, and I think it was quite a thorough one, because I think it had been there for a good long time while it was undergoing this refit. And so in the museum there, you can actually overlook the what's it called, like the maintenance, the workshop area, from up above. Well, you could at the time, I don't know if that's still the case. And she was there being refurbished, which was quite sad to see her in that state, really, in bits and pieces. But still, at the same time, it was awesome to be quite close to what is obviously one of, if not the most famous locomotives in not just Britain, but the world, really, because I know she's done a world tour as well, hasn't she? North Yorkshire Moors Railway, I see. Hello, Super Sprinter there. Evening, good evening. NYMR is short for North Yorkshire Moors, right. Cheers, thanks for clarifying that. There's quite a few things in Train Sim World which most people know by their abbreviations, and like West Coast Main Line is WCML, and sometimes people mention the short version of the name, and I have to ask. You can book tickets to go on it. Cool. This a mod or a real life Just Trains have done? Yeah, this is a mod. It's a third party mod. It's not available in the Livery Creator, I believe. I don't think you can download it from there. You actually download it from see if I can't remember the name of it now, something steam locomotives or something or another. The link of it I've put in the description below, actually. It's a bit jittery there. And the pack includes quite a few variants of it. ScotRail didn't run along the Preston to Carlisle route on a regular basis, but they were seen along the route. Not as frequent as the British Rail or Rail Freight livery. But when I can't remember how I stumbled across this livery pack, but it was sometime yesterday, and I couldn't resist downloading it because it looks pretty awesome. Particularly looking awesome in this beautiful countryside. I don't think I've actually driven in autumn time on the Preston to Carlisle route. I've driven it many times before, though, in various other conditions. After all, it is my top favourite route for many reasons. The main one being that I'm a BR Blue fan, and so it's set in the 80s. Wow, look at that, beautiful. And I just thought it'd be a refreshing change to see a different livery. Right, let's get our throttle off and let's get some brake in here. I was trying to move my chat then, but Seaside, if you want to go on search for NYMR Flying Scotsman, I think it's £51. Cool. Gonna guess it's only on PC. Yes, Northern Transport. Yes, it is. I've just been saying a moment ago, I've been rebuilding my collection on PC because of there being more flexibility with mods and whatnot, unlike with the console. However, I'm still going to be playing on the console because that's where most of my collection still remains. Do you know what? Wasn't really focusing properly then. It's going far too fast approaching that signal. If it was on red, I would have been doomed. Teesside, this is a great stream. Oh, thank you very much. Just try and get this down to 15 so that we... Are we going to be on time? We're a little bit late. This little slope into the station keeps catching me out. Northern Trains Transport getting much better frame rate than my gaming laptop. Haven't bought this route. Is it worth rather high price tag? If you're a BR Blue fan and you like long runs, then definitely, without doubt. I know it's a little bit more expensive. It does pop up in sales from time to time, so Just Trains do their own little sales as well, so it might be worth keeping an eye on their website too. Right. Bit of a sloppy stop that. Too busy trying to look at chat at the same time. Am I? Right. Let's get the doors open. So we're at Lancaster. We're going to be stopping at Penrith as well. Toot the whistle. A £7 to toot the whistle on the Flying Scotland. I think she's a wonderful engine, but not keen on the money milking that seems to come from her ownership with National Railway Museum. Yeah, it's like that with everything now, isn't it? Really. I'm a Doctor Who fan, and years ago you could go to a Doctor Who convention and mill around with, you know, the special guests and get autographs and photographs with them, and it was all great. And then a few years ago it all kind of changed, and whenever you go to these conventions now, you have to queue up, and you have to pay £15-20, maybe even more than that, and queue up for an hour or so, whatever, to get your autograph and photograph taken with them. Maybe slap another 20 quid on top of that for a professional photograph, and you know, easily there's £100 gone on just that element, and that's before you include the cost of whatever the convention was in the first place. So yeah, sadly that's the way things have gone, and I could go on about this, to be honest with you, but I'll just get us moving anyway. Did I shut the doors? I did shut the doors, didn't I? No, I haven't. But the door's closed. Thought there was a bit of too much fresh air in the... Right, so I think we've got a 15-mile-an-hour speed limit just out of here for a little while. Oh, thank you for the subscription, Andrew. Much appreciated. Right. We go over a bridge here. Yeah, we do, don't we? Yeah, we go over the river. There's a nice view over the river here now. We can start picking up some speed. Wow, look at that sunshine in the background there. Wow. Super Sprinter, 90, not known. Northern Transport, so glad Just Trains have given us the Mark III coaches. Being fed up with these Mark IIs as they're the ones from the first train sim world. Yes, I agree, yes. Hello there, Andrew. Super Sprinter. Sound, Andrew. 156 think I'm sub to you and the other two in chat. Right, so our next stop is at Penrith, so we can just enjoy the journey, really. Are we on full throttle? So yeah, if you haven't got this route, it's definitely worth getting. We have got another route coming out by Just Train short soon. There's been no announcement on that as yet. As most of you will know, if you saw Dovetail's stream last night of the live play of the Birmingham to Crewe line, which comes out next Tuesday. And I think Just Trains will probably be the following route that will follow that in the release order, all being well. If I was to have a guess at it, going by the last 2 years, the Blackpool branches came out November, and last year this route here, Preston to Carlisle, came out towards the end of November. So I'm assuming they're going to follow that trend if everything remains on track, so to speak. So we're certainly not far down the road now anyway. But in the meantime, this is a great route to get, including the Blackpool branches too. Wow, sun reflecting there in the calm sea. Beautiful. Oh, and there's another sewerage works. I always seem to do exterior shots just at the right moment of passing a sewerage works. I'm getting really good at that. But I think the rest of the scenery around it made it push that out of the way a bit, didn't it? Wow. Awesome sunshine there. I've added a tiny little bit of fog, not too much, just to give that cold evening mist with the sun just setting. So did anybody else here see the stream last night, Dovetail's stream of the first sort of proper look around the new route, which is coming out next week? So we managed to have a good nosy round the revamped area of Birmingham New Street, and everybody has noticed, and it's been noted, that the flashing benches on the platforms have now been corrected. And I believe they've added more detail around Birmingham New Street compared to the earlier release of Birmingham New Street. Crew just looked amazing. If anything, I would have been quite happy just to have spent 2 hours of the stream just walking around Crew, but so I'm looking forward to having a good look around there at Crew. That's just going to be pretty awesome. And Wolverhampton will be quite interesting to stop at as well and have a good nosy around there. That's where I'd met my wife, and she lived in Dudley, or just outside Dudley anyway, between Dudley and Wolverhampton, and we often use the train for days out to places. So there's a personal connection there with the route, but I don't know it inside out, and Crew I know really well, because coming from North Wales, for most places you need to access around the country, you end up in most cases going through some oil going through Crew to make your next connection. Carnforth, yes. Class 40. I do like the class 40 and the class 37. I particularly like the ones with the one that just went past with the black domino code box. Just see the sun. I don't know how well you can, I don't know if you're watching it on a TV, but you could just see the sun rays shining through, breaking through the trees just then, which was quite nice. Brilliant job on the lighting. Super Sprinter, yeah, I watched it. Full of ambassadors trying to do the hard sell with "don't forget I'm streaming after this." Yeah. I said hi at the beginning before the stream started, but I just sat in the background and just watched the stream, and the chat was quite interesting at time as well. "156 Andrew, basically a stretch 37 a class." Yeah. I think it's got more wheels, hasn't it? I think the bogies got more wheels on. Can't remember how many. I don't know. I should find out what power difference is between the two. I'm assuming the Class 40 was more powerful, but guessing the 37 was more versatile, and they were greater in their numbers. And at the end of the day, they're still running on the main line, aren't they? As I think they do a lot of test trains and recoveries. I don't seem to be getting too much, that what we all suffer from, whether you're on console or PC, is stuttering. The guy who I got to build my PC maxed everything out so that I could get the best performance for Train Sim World. But I think even if you've got the most expensive PC in the world, I don't think it will totally eliminate the stuttering. It's just down to the way it's not really. That's not the right thing to say. The way it's built, but the restrictions they have with the engine and the way it's developed and everything. I think it's a bit of a struggle for them to try and iron out the issue, really. Probably see most of them at GCR, last diesel gala of the season. Wow. I think I read recently that there's still roughly, I forget who loans out, who leases the Class 37, but there's one leasing company. I think they've got over 20 37s in their arsenal. So I was quite shocked to know that there was still so many that are being used on the main line. I mean, there's more than that. That was just one leasing company. I can't remember the name of them now. And obviously there's many in preservation, isn't there? There's something special about the Class 37. I'm going to have to look it up, but I remember watching a few years ago now a documentary that's on someone that posted on YouTube. I think Channel 4 had made it, of a load of rail fans taking the last, or one of the last passenger services out of North Wales on a Class 37. And it was really funny, it was really good. I'm going to have to try and search that out again, because I quite enjoyed that. So that sun's burning through the dashboard there. Wow, look at that countryside. Kenny McIntosh. I haven't a clue, I'm afraid, who that is. Oh. Euro Phoenix leases out 37s, and Porterbrook and Colas Rail, most of them are around Derby. Right. It may have been Colas, actually. The Grey Wolf, David McLean. Hi Dave and chat. Nice to see you there, the Grey Wolf. 156 Andrew. I think most drivers just love Class 37. It's just sing when it goes. Yeah, I mean, I think all the diesels from this era, they all have a distinctive character, something distinctive that defines them between each other. They all have their little quirks and sounds, and I love them all. In fact, I picked up the 33 the other day, which is it for the Somerset line. It's got a couple of trips on the one of the one of the southern routes anyway, or eastern routes. It's got a rail tour on there, and I really enjoyed driving it. It's a shame somebody hasn't officially released it and made it available for use in some of the other routes. Right, we're starting to lose a little bit of speed here now because we're going uphill. He's an artist from Glasgow. Well, my late wife, she probably would have known that. So she'd be a bit annoyed with me about not knowing that, because I used to be into my art as well, but I'm not very strong on all my artists. One of my favourite artists is Salvador Dali, a surrealist artist, most famously known for his soft watches artwork. He was quite a character in real life, quite an eccentric. Most artists are, though. Wow. Grey Wolf done a cheeky hop from Leipzig to Chemtes, is it? Chemtes? But game crashed 5 minutes from it. Oh god. But at least he didn't spad, because I've driven this route here, so we've got the potential of that happening here as well. At least there's nothing worse than spadding at the end of like a 2-hour journey, which I have done on here a couple of times, and I just sit there in silence, dumbfounded. So at least you could be proud of yourself, and that it wasn't your fault, it was the game's fault, but still annoying. Thankfully, I don't want to tempt fate, but I haven't really suffered from many crashes. There has been the odd one, sometimes I think influenced by myself, by being a bit too over excited with the game or whatever. This is a test tonight because I'm streaming as well as playing the game. Not that OBS requires an awful amount of GPU, if any. Nevertheless, it's still an extra burden on the system. So as you can see, we're losing our speed now with this little climb before we got the proper climb up Shap. We will start a descent in a moment from memory, which will give us a little bit of speed for climbing Shap. Something interesting that caught my attention. Ooh, why am I taking my throttle off? Something that caught my attention. I did make a video of it actually in the last road map. There was quite a lot of things being announced, and hidden amongst it all was a new. I suppose you could call it a livery pack, I suppose, celebrating the HST, and this pack has a variety of different liveries that were used during its lifetime up to its last days with GWR, I think it was, who it ran with last, I think. And my all-time favourite livery, as I mentioned in the video, is the yellow cab and the blue livery with the 125 written down the side of it. That's the HST to me. That's how she should look. That's how I define it. That's how I remember it from my childhood. So I'm quite excited about that release, even though it's just livery skins and extra, I suppose, some scenarios and some extra timetables for it. But I was curious to know whether the 125 ever drove along this route so that I could authentically drive it along here, and it turns out that the 125 didn't have any diagrams, didn't have any timetables to run this route at all, and I can't find any evidence that it ever did. However, there is the suggestion that it may have ran this line as a recovery, or as a, if the East Coast, if there was diversions from the East Coast line, then they would come down this way or go back this way. So there may have been the odd occasion. However, the story is slightly different with the Blackpool route. And again, although I can't find any photographic evidence, the 125 or HST, wherever you want to call it, apparently did make summer journeys, special summer journeys up to Blackpool at the weekend. So it's been said anyway, but I can't actually find, concrete evidence of photographs or anything online. Be interesting if somebody does. But regardless, knowing that, I drove it up to Blackpool from Preston. And of course, you can't really open the HST up along the Preston to Blackpool route. I think the fastest you can get up to is about 75 miles an hour. I think the speed limit is maybe a little bit more, maybe 90, I'm not sure, but certainly around the 75 to 90 maximum speed limit along that line. (156) Andrew, funny enough, my last name is Rennie. 156, up there with the greatest train in the UK, the HST. Yes, definitely. I think, although I would like to award, well, I suppose I could give the crown to the 37, but symbolically I think the HST sort of stands there as the king, really, in terms of the end of an era, in terms of the diesel-powered days. Yeah, I've seen that HST livery thing I made all my own years ago for Greatest Western Route. Cool. I would have liked to... The one I found I quite liked, but I find it quite difficult navigating the custom liveries. You can't just sort of like search for HST or any variation that brings up, you know, all the HSTs or whatever. You kind of have to search through everything else as well, even though... So I find it a bit frustrating, and I was looking for ages, and the one I used in the end is quite a clean livery, very clean, in fact, too clean. Nevertheless, still very good. The only thing it's sadly missing is some weathering, and I don't know how easy it is to apply weathering to your liveries that you make in the custom livery maker. It's something I need to look into. Though to be honest, I haven't really got time to be making liveries. I need to be spending more time driving the trains and refining my driving skills before I start thinking about creating liveries. And this streaming thing and making videos is a bit of a learning curve too. Super Sprinter. Virgin did a Birmingham International to Blackpool around 1998. Cool, excellent, great. So you've got a little bit of evidence there. It'd be great if there was photos, wouldn't there? Someone must have photos from those days, surely. They must be flying around somewhere. Right, where are we on the map? I've lost myself on the map. We haven't reached Shap yet. In fact, we have... Do you know what? I don't remember going through Oxenholme. It's a good job we weren't stopping there. So we're on the steepest part of the climb now, 1.3%. Wow, that gave me a bit of a fright, that, zooming through then, that 87, I'm assuming. So as we can see, the sun must have settled behind the hills there now. Search on your phone, create a club, it finds them all, and no limits on downloads. Alright, excellent. Yeah, because searching for them within the game, I'm struggling with. So I'll have a look on the phone. I caught it a few times on a Friday afternoon, came back on the Saturday afternoon. Alright, so you're living proof then that it did exist and it happened. Excellent. So that means I can drive officially, so to speak, on the Blackpool branches. Now I think we're very close to the summit now. Nearly there. Just as we get under this, I don't know if it's a footbridge or a bridge for cows. We've got bridges in North Wales here that were specifically built for cows. The farmer could cross them over. So here we are. We've arrived at Shap in one piece. And the Shap sign is just over there somewhere. I wonder who lives in this cottage. Does someone live in there? There's the Shap sign. Can't see it very well, blurring past. Right, it's all downhill now. Got to watch watch we don't creep over. Blackpool also had a Sunday service to Euston via Manchester and Birmingham 1997. Right. And I'm guessing that was the 1252. Downhill all the way to Carlisle. Yes. My brakes are off, aren't they? I do love this ScotRail livery, and the guy who did it, there's a Just Trains truck there. The guy who designed it, who made it, someone called Daniel Watt. Although there was many others within the train community that assisted and helped him with it too. So we're just passing Hardendale Quarry. Where's it gone? Oh, there it is. Wow. All lit up. Sun, the last rays of the sun just catching her there. For anybody that's just joined us, driving the Class 47 on the Preston to Carlisle route, we've just come up over Shap. Our next stop's at Penrith, and we're using a third-party livery, which has been given the thumbs up from Just Trains. Tom from Just Trains had congratulated the team who had made this free livery pack. Again, it's only available on PC. Sound like an advertisement here, don't I? But I'm just mentioning anyway, in case anybody's thinking or wondering or wants. Right, we need to take this throttle off. Start braking. Right, 8 miles before we stop. I can't wait to see the... although I'm excited about the next week's release of Crewe, Birmingham to Crewe, Crewe to Preston. I'm really excited about, and I think what will be particularly stand out about the next Just Trains release will be the fact that it involves the collieries and the power station, and is going to involve merry-go-rounds of the Class 20s and whatever else. So there's going to be quite a bit of freight movements, and it's not just going to be running to and from a station like some of the freight runs are in a lot of the routes that have been released elsewhere. Teesside does have loading and unloading in it, and there is one or two scenarios elsewhere in some other routes, but I think it's going to be pretty intensive on this new Preston to Crewe, or Crewe to Preston, whichever way round you want to say it, because Preston's become the main sort of hub for Just Trains. I tend to call it Preston to Crewe. I wonder what their next release will be. I don't think there's anything else they can do from Preston, is there? So I'm hoping it's going to be Crewe to Holyhead. That would be my a dream come true if Just Trains were given the go-ahead to produce a BR Blue era route from Crewe to Holyhead, because although it'd be exciting having a North Wales route, which is available in TrainSim Classic, by the way, set in modern day. Unfortunately, there's not much happening other than passenger services, really, along that route now, sadly, because most of the industrial elements of North Wales have long gone since the days of my childhood, when you had the colliery in Fun and Grew, and had Coltall's Textiles that used to be based down in Flint, and Greenfield in Holywell, near where I live. I don't know why I'm slowing down, actually. So, just lost track. Give it a bit more power anyway, we can... ...47 was used for the Glasgow-Edinburgh push-pull service before it was took over by the Class 158. Yes, that's right. So this is where you would see this livery. For the push-pull in Edinburgh. So this is it'd be its main home, but they would drift into the Carlisle and Preston area. So anybody who's on PC and wants to get this livery pack, there is a link to it in the description below. Unfortunately, it's only available for PC. Super Sprinter, I guess that went up on a Saturday night because I caught it back around 10 AM and it did a cold start. Wow. You guys are making me all jealous about this experience you've both had. I can only simulate it. So it was in Virgin livery, you both know it as in then. So I need to hunt down a Virgin livery or wait until they release that pack, whenever that will be. Oh God, what am I doing? I'm going majorly fast. Right. Ugh. It's throwing me. I can't talk and drive at the same time. Have we gone into emergency stop? I think I applied too much brake, haven't I? We've gone into stop. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, I had the brakes on full. I hadn't fully released them. Right, okay. Well, we've done an emergency stop. The brakes are working fine. There's always something, isn't it? Right, let's get going then. I think in my panic there, I didn't realise I'd left the brake on. Andrew 156, I do like Wales. Yeah, I feel very, very lucky to live where I live. It does have its shortfalls in many ways, but I think the countryside overcomes that. Super Sprinter, did a class 1178 car as a kid, Birmingham to Rill. Had a class 37 back around 1983. Wow. God, we're well late. Is it all down to that emergency stop? I suppose some of it was. Emergency stop. Failure. Oh, we're going to spad here. Oh, Jesus. I can't believe we've stopped. Oh, right, get the doors unlocked. Have I unlocked the doors? I knew I shouldn't have streamed tonight. Someone's having a bit of a struggle getting on the train there. Someone else having problems. It's saying unlock the doors. Right. I've had a swallow and a virgin out of Blackpool. Says Super Sprinter. 156. I can speak really good Welsh. Oh wow. That was close. That was very close. All that was going through my mind at that moment was I can't start from the beginning again. And I didn't really want to end the stream there neither. That was extremely close. I'm afraid there's going to be lots of complaints though, demanding refunds. Everybody's got coffee all over them. Mind you, coffee wasn't a thing in the BR Blue days, was it? It's a big thing now, isn't it, coffee? I don't get this coffee thing. I like a coffee in the morning. That's about it. Just to wake me up. But there's more coffee places than pubs now. Well, I don't know if that's true, but it feels like. What's quite good about these third-party, they've made a good job of the nameplates. You know, they actually look 3D. They're not just sort of painted on. It looks like a proper plaque. Right, let's lock the doors. Right. Let's try and make a better job of things. Right. I applied the throttle too soon, I think. Right. Super Sprinter lucky, yeah. 156, Andrew. Sorry everyone, cheer up everyone. There's crying for spilled milk. No, there's no. It's just a game, isn't it? Normally, my rule of thumb. Be interested if anybody else has a kind of their own sort of way of doing it, but my rule of thumb is to well, I think it's one of the tips anyway in the load up screens is you should be doing 30 miles. You shouldn't be doing more than 30 miles an hour as you're just coming into the station. I like to get it down to about 15 miles an hour mid station. And then that gives me, it's much easier to stop then with that at 15 miles an hour at whatever point you need to stop at on that station, wherever the marker board is. So roughly speaking, I think about 600 yards I aim for about 40 miles an hour from the station stop. And then 300 yards, 30 miles an hour. So I sort of... And I have to do it like that because I haven't learned the routes inside out. If I knew... if I was using visual elements, scenery on the route as indicators, as do real drivers, as to when to start applying my brakes or whatever... So Problem is with me, I've ended up buying all the UK routes over the course of the last year, and haven't had the luxury of spending time on one route over a long period of time to learn it inside out. So I've been jumping from this route to Blackpool route, Riviera, Birmingham, Milton Keynes, all the different routes, you know, the Manchester ones, all of them. So I never get the chance to learn one route inside out. And then, of course, when I come back to this route, and I haven't played this for about a few weeks or whatever, it's like starting all over again, really. Well, not as difficult, but there's a big long excuse. (156) Andrew, been to Crewe twice. I quit for shortbread supply. I do like shortbread. I did used to like it when I was a kid. But last Christmas I had a right bad with it. Especially luxury ones, you know, if you get the more expensive shortbread, the flavours start to come through. Right, we've got 14 miles. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to press save. Right, let's get back. I'm going to press save just in case I am stupid. I always forget where AWS is in different trains I've used throughout. Yeah, on the Riviera route that was just released, I got in the 150. It is the 150, isn't it? And I basically know roughly where everything is in there. It's quite straightforward enough to remember, and I'd been playing with the 150 recently on the Manchester route, I think it was, or the Birmingham route. Not the Manchester route. And I just couldn't find where the AWS was. I thought I was cracking up. I thought, well, maybe it never did have one. And then it was very sneakily hidden under that flap, that panel on the right side of the cab. There wasn't even a sticker on it or anything to indicate controls here or wherever. It was just well hidden. So yeah, that's something. My journeys end up being always start off late, trying to find remember where all the AWS is, and in some of these diesels, it's like hidden down the side of the chair here. I can't remember what diesel it is, and then I think it's the class 20. It's underneath a chair here. So yeah, that can be a challenge in itself before you even get started. Shortbread, really brill. Super Sprinter, yeah, it's under a door on passenger side, yeah. Oops, was speeding. Yeah, my dog's barking. Do you know what, I've got to the point where I think I've become deaf to their barks. I've got two Jack Russells. One of them's an old man, and the other one's a puppy, which has been challenging because the old dog doesn't like the fact that I've brought a puppy into the home. He's not at all happy about it. So I have to keep them separate. And that might have to be permanently, I'm not sure. Just going to have to see how things go. But it's quite challenging, particularly around tea time, because they are getting quite excited, and this is why I can't schedule streams at a specific time or a specific evening, because the dogs are quite challenging to cope with. God knows what they're up to at the moment. Right, we've got 8 miles. So, Dave, we've got a station coming up in 8 miles. So, keep alert and awake. In fact, there's a signal just before Carlisle station which can easily spad. I wonder how I know that. Super Sprinter. Class 52, a pain, lights are a nightmare to set on the Xbox. Yes, it's funny you say that. To be honest, even... well, it's not as awkward on PC. You can use the mouse, but yeah, it is a nightmare. I've noticed that. I think there might be a couple of others that are a bit difficult to switch on as well elsewhere. So the sun's down now, almost dusk. I haven't really looked at it properly from the side, there's always trees in the way. Beautiful. Super Sprinter, learning the 101 DMU, a driver at Midland Railway Centre showed me in a cab ride. Right, yeah, the 101, I quite enjoy driving that, but each time I come back to it, it takes me a little bit of a while to re-skill myself up with it. But it's quite fun having to change gear. Stopping's there. Well, it is with any of the trains really, as you've already seen. I think someone said the other day somewhere, or I'd heard somebody say, any idiot can start a train and get it moving, but it's stopping it, and that's very true. as we've seen. So we started off in the beautiful sunshine at Preston in the autumn, and just as we're arriving into Carlisle, darkness falls upon us. Our brake has come off this time, hasn't it? I must have pushed the emergency brake. Before. Wow, that lighting looks nice. I've driven a few times at night around Carlisle here, and it's really nice. It's I think some people are put off by driving at night, but it's a nice challenge, and it's pleasantly rewarded with some really nice some really nice atmosphere. Right, we're just going through a neutral zone. Thankfully we don't need to worry about them in this journey. I know, well, this is the light here that you could easily end up spadding at. So there's Carlisle. What have we got down here? Number 47. 2 47s. Beautiful. Wow, the lights have just come on. Oh, beautiful. Change here for Scottish haggis. Lovely sunset, yeah. Wow, look at that. I've been here before at night, you know, but still, I'm still in awe. That yellow van in front of us is our stopping point. Past that and we're spadding. Right, let's get those doors open. Did I open the doors? Yes, they're open. Well, 156 Andrew, lovely sunset, yes, super sprinter. The night, the class 31 in this route is hard work. Do you know what? I've struggled with it, and I can't remember what it is that I've struggled with. Probably braking. I know Tintin, the YouTube streamer Tintin, it's one of, if not his favourite diesel. I do love the look of it, but it's, I must admit I've struggled with it as well, with that one. Can't remember what it is without getting back in it and finding out. But I suppose that's what makes the game interesting, is each train having its different kind of gameplay traits. So there we go. We've managed to get here alive. I'm probably going to have to go and have tea and biscuits, or tea and shortbread with the manager over all that spilt coffee back at Penrith there, was it? Yeah, underpowered to get it going, yeah. Good street. Oh, thanks very much, mate. I tried my best. I was a bit tired tonight, but I could say that every night, and if I say that every night, then I'll never be on again, will I? So I thought, no, I'm going to push myself. I'm going to go on and give it a whirl. So yeah, brilliant. But yeah, look at that beautiful ScotRail by Daniel Watt. A link to his pack is down below in the description if you're on PC and would like to download it. It's well worth it. If you drive stuff regularly on the Preston Carlisle route, it's nice to have a little bit of a change with the livery, be it an authentic one too. So hopefully I'll be back streaming again soon rather than later. I'd like to thank you all for coming along. It's really appreciated. Yeah, so thanks very much. I'll see you soon, and I'll try and get some practice in for the next stream. So take care everyone, see you soon now. Bye bye.